All right, welcome back, Roommate MS Office students. Video 5, what we're going to do today is rearrange the simple interest formula so that we can do some calculations and find some other unknowns. So we'll get to apply, and for some of you learn some basic algebra skills here using the simple interest formula, I equals PRT. So step number 1, go ahead and go to simple interest P3, page 3 in your simple interest 2017 document. And what I've done is hidden the comments that we had talked about back in video 1 or 2. And then I'm going to delete these values here. And then go ahead and type in that comment section, erase whatever was there, and go ahead and put in these relationships. And then pause the video, and once you get that done, come on back and we will continue. So let's take a closer look at the relationship of interest equals principal times rate times time, or I equals PRT. Now, we're solving for interest using this formula, but we can also solve for any of these other variables such as principal, rate, and time, provided that we have at least 3 of the variables available to us. So by rearranging this, if we want to solve for P, many of you have learned in your algebra class, if we divide both sides by RT, we can take then and also divide the other side of the equal sign by RT and end up with P equals interest divided by rate times time. And so we can do that for each one of these variables, for rate and time. So R then would equal interest divided by PT, and if we need to solve for T, T would equal interest divided by P times R. So take a look at that, and then I can come around and talk to you a little bit more about that as we go through and work some of these problems. So I'm going to go ahead and type in the worksheet that we need so that we can practice these calculations. So next up, go ahead and format your worksheet. Down here, beginning at cell B12, interest, principal, rate, and time. Set the column width to 12, and then go ahead and move this text box down from the top here just by grabbing those borders so that we can have that as a reference point as we go through and do some calculations. So pause the video, go ahead and get that keyed in, and then we will move forward. And then the next thing you can do is go ahead and number from 1 to 10 here in column A. And here is the worksheet that you need to format. So you'll want to pause the video and key in these values for interest, principal, rate, and time. And then be sure to format the interest column as dollars, the principal as dollars, and the rate as a percentage, and then convert time to years as you did in previous lessons. So go ahead and pause that video and key that in, and let me know if you're having trouble seeing that. I can help you out with that and maybe even put it up on the big screen or even give you a print of this if it would make it easier, depending on how this comes through on YouTube. And then the last step we're going to do in this video 5 is to go through and let's go ahead and format the question marks, because this is where we're going to do the calculations, and we'll do that in the next video. So what you can do, we want to put these question marks in the center, and so a quick way to do that is when we want to select non-contiguous cells is click the first one and then hold down your control key, and that will allow you to click cells and select cells that are not contiguous or not attached right next to each other. So I'm going to select all of the question marks. And then you can click your center alignment tool. And I just noticed that we are missing a question mark in line number 9. So delete that 120 days and insert a question mark. And we'll put that right in the center. Now, if your cells aren't selected anymore, go ahead and select those. And one final step. Select all the question marks that are now centered. Oh, see, I missed one there. I'll just go ahead and center all of them again. By double-clicking that, there they are. And then what we want to do is format the cells with some shading so that when we actually do our calculation, the cell will be sort of a replacement for the question mark. We'll know which one that we are calculating, which unknown we are finding. So we'll just go ahead and put in a gray shading in here. And a real easy way to do that is just come on up to Format. And then all the way down at the bottom, look for Format Cells. And there's lots of formatting that you can do within a cell, but click on over to Fill. And then just select one of these gray shading effects here. I'll take this one right here. And if you want to pick some other light color over here, that'll be fine. And I'm going to click OK. And I can select out, and there we go. So now when we do those calculations in the next video, and we're looking and checking our calculations, we'll know which ones right away that we are looking for. So make sure you ask any questions, and I'll come around and check it out, and then we will continue in the next video to calculate the unknowns using the simple interest formula I equals PRT and solving for some of the other unknown variables.